This was my first marriage, but for Ole, it was her second. Our relationship started off like any other, with acquaintances, courtship, and sharing moments of love and affection. However, Olai had no children from her previous marriage, which was a definite advantage for our relationship. But whenever I asked her about it, she would give me evasive answers, leaving me without a clear understanding of the reasons behind her decision. Despite the lack of children, I never saw it as a problem. Olai was in her late 20s, and I believed that she had a level of maturity and experience that would benefit our relationship. We enjoyed the freedom and excitement of this phase in life, making the most of our time together. We traveled extensively, exploring new places both alone and with friends, often going abroad multiple times a year. As time went on, however, I noticed that Ole's demands and expectations began to increase. This made me finally broach the topic of having children, only to be met with anger and dismissal from her side. She claimed that it was not yet the right time. So, as our 4th wedding anniversary approached, we were still a young, energetic couple without any children, but we were also financially stable. Ole worked from home, while I continued my routine as an office worker. It was in our 5th year together that luck smiled upon me and presented an opportunity to delve into Ole's past. Unexpectedly, one of her childhood friends showed up at our doorstep one evening. Ole seemed uncomfortable with the situation, but I couldn't bring myself to turn away someone in need, especially when it also allowed me to catch a glimpse of Ole's hidden past. While she prepared dinner, her friend and I engaged in a pleasant conversation, opening a bottle of white semi-sweet wine in the kitchen. The evening turned out to be delightful and enlightening, with many stories exchanged throughout the dinner. It felt like a truly memorable and enjoyable time. My wife surprised me by revealing a different side of herself that I had never seen before. I was completely unaware of what she was hiding. When I returned home, I discovered that the girls had been arguing. Our guest was hastily getting dressed, and my wife was picking up broken pieces of plates from the floor. I had to step in and separate them, placing each in a different room. We all agreed that the guest would leave in the morning. That night, I couldn't sleep, so I walked out into the corridor and found some cigarettes in my pocket. I stepped out onto the balcony from the kitchen, and to my surprise, I saw our uninvited guest there. She was still a little drunk and looked at me longingly, sending a shiver down my spine. Trying to break the awkward silence, I asked if something was wrong. She smiled back and said, "It's fine, thank you." Wanting to make conversation, I asked how long they had been together or if they were married. She smirked and said, "So that's what you are, a reindeer." Confused, I asked her to explain. She revealed that my wife, Olya, had cheated on her husband with me. I was taken aback as I repeated, "I don't get it." She responded, "Olya was married and pregnant when you two met. She had a late-term abortion and then left her husband for you." She poked me gently in the chest and continued, "Thought you knew? No? Well, now you do. Olya is a good girl, but she always seeks something better. She's always searching for a richer person. Looks like she found one, but she's not in a hurry to get married. Perhaps she can't anymore?" I extinguished my cigarette and turned to leave. The information was overwhelming. As I started to walk away, she casually mentioned, "Or perhaps she doesn't want to." I immediately turned back, shocked by her words. I asked her if their fight earlier was because of what she just told me. She clarified that it was actually because of Olya's ex-husband. She came to inform me that her brother had passed away and left Olya the dacha in his old will. However, she believed it was unfair and that Olya should refuse it. Their relationship ended because her brother discovered the affair and demanded a paternity test. Olya decided to resolve the situation in a drastic way. The guests locked eyes with me, waiting for my reaction to sink in, and it certainly did. The possibility that the baby could be mine weighed heavily on my mind. "You have to leave at dawn," I reminded the girl. She smiled, extinguished her cigarette, and swiftly made her way past me and out of the balcony door. I tried not to take her departure personally, but the truth I had recently discovered left me feeling unsettled. How many years had I lived a lie, and what hope did I have of repairing a relationship that began with deceit? That night, sleep eluded me, leaving my head throbbing by morning. I spent the night on the kitchen couch, wrestling with my thoughts. At dawn, the girl from the past bid us farewell. She apologized, patted me on the shoulder, and was gone. Unpleasant conversations and an imminent divorce loomed before me. My wife, however, made no attempt to deny the accusations. She listened silently, tears streaming down her face like lonely rivers. I desperately sought answers, questioning her incessantly, but she remained a statue before me, devoid of life. Only the streaks of saltiness on her cheeks betrayed her pain. It was true. She was silent, a raging fire of anger simmering within her chest. Unable to control myself any longer, I lashed out, grabbing my wife's shoulders and shaking her vigorously. Olya sobbed, tapping her head gently against the wall. Not hard enough to inflict pain, but enough to make her point. Releasing my grip, I watched as my wife sank to the floor. Through her tears, she uttered the word, truth. Confessing that she had cheated on both her husband and me, Olya revealed her desire to pass the baby off as her husband's. However, he had discovered her betrayal, and unwilling to uncover the true paternity, she had chosen to start a new life with me. But we're good together. We can still have a child, she pleaded, attempting to salvage our relationship. Right now, we can conceive a son or daughter. I recoiled in horror, unable to comprehend the suggestion. Hysteria engulfed me, and I had to call for medical assistance. Olya's silence was abruptly shattered as she transformed into a furious storm. The doctors swiftly intervened, injecting her with a sedative before whisking her away. My wife's subsequent nervous breakdown delayed the divorce proceedings for 6 months. Eventually, when the court reached a decision, the female judge made a caustic remark about the commitment to endure both sickness and health. Olya returned to her hometown, fading from my life forever. Though rumors persisted that she had succumbed to alcoholism, I hoped fervently that they were merely malicious lies.